Hello and welcome to the St Kilda and Bayside Report. It is February 2024. I'm Gary Peer.
I am Jeremy Rosens. 2024, Gary. This is the first show that we're putting on for this year. It's an exciting time, Gary.
It's an exciting time. It's an exciting period of time too, because when you look back at what we've been through, we've been through the pandemic, we've been back through all these interest rate rises, and we've been through all this sort of craziness in the market where things are unpredictable. Things went down and they went up again. It just feels like we've sort of got calmer waters ahead of us at the moment. Not sure what you're thinking, but it's feeling a little bit that way for me.
I think that's probably a nice summary, although I think we're going to get a bit of a shock with the numbers coming through, Gary, because I'm not sure the exact number, but there's a hell of a lot of stock coming to the market in the next month or two, and we're starting to see it.
A listing surge, as was
Listing
reported.
bonanza, Gary.
A listing surge was reported in the media the other day, and I've got to say, I think that's right. It wasn't just us, unfortunately. I thought maybe we've just the ones that have got little listings, but we've got some beautiful listings coming up, which we'll talk about in a sec. But the volume is going to be interesting, and of course, you look at it a few different ways when there's volume. You can say, oh, well, the supply-demand curve, means things will be less competitive, so maybe it's a scary time to sell, or maybe it's just an opportune time to buy. But with volume comes activity as well.
Yes.
And with sellers come buyers, because those sellers are buyers. So we're going to get through a little bit of a exciting time, I think, because there's going to be a lot of trade, and that's always good for business and good for buyers and sellers alike.
Well, we have just had our first auction weekend for 2024. Not a massive launch, this one. We normally tend to sort of be late Feb. That's right. So this weekend coming is a big one.
The appetizer, the calm before the storm, so to speak.
Yes, the soft launch, as we like, but still some strong results, Gary, and some good numbers coming to inspections. Our numbers at opens, which is always the metric if you don't have sales to go by. The numbers seem to be up, although they're starting to come down. Our stock levels increase. Although stock levels are high, but the new stock levels, as in the last week or two of new listings where we've just signed on, they weren't huge. So maybe there's just the next 2 months and then it might dip a little bit.
Bit of a bubble.
Who knows?
I think it's a bit of a bubble. I think it's a bit of a listings bubble. So if you're a buyer and you think that this is going to be representative of the rest of the year, I think that's what you're saying in a way. We're seeing that's not going to happen based on last week and probably this week. I mean, I know that we usually have a forecast of what's coming in and we usually know there's a lot of stock. I think there's going to be this sort of a little bit of a swelling of stock, but then it's just going to retract very quickly.
The pre-Easter and then questions on the post-Easter, what that looks like. But it doesn't seem to be... The first couple of weeks post-Easter are big, but then May, different story. Let's wait and see. Although they may not have come to the table yet.
May's busy. May not have come in for May, but June, July we know are quiet, and every year seems to be quieter. So take advantage of these next 3 or 4, maybe 3 months, because you're going to get an opportunity, but that window will close. Jem,
big summer, Gary.
Exciting, big summer, good weather.
I reckon I've already got. I've been back a few weeks. I've already got fatigue, which we've had. The Gary Peer Startup Day with some unbelievable speakers, Gary, and I think we'll have some vision overlaid here, but people like Nathan Buckley, Mark Weisel, great friend of the company, big real estate mind. What's that other guy's name?
Chelsea Pottinger was incredible on mental health. And the other guy's name, I think is quite well known, Andy Lee, I think his name is.
Heard of him.
So great to have him.
Golf Day we've had.
We've had our Gary Peer.
Family Day we've had.
Family Day.
Chinese New Year celebration.
We have. Who can get any work done with all these things going on?
I'm sick and tired of seeing your head, Gary.
And there's more festivals at Gary Peer than there are in Melbourne. And there's a lot happening in Melbourne because we've just had
St Kilda
Festival. We've got a Bayside market happening in Brighton in a couple of Friday nights' time.
You can always be certain that you will bring some obscure, silly reference to a market somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's a couple of markets coming. Sandringham one and this one in Brighton. And Jem, also we have had the tennis, which is just
tennis. There was tennis.
Moomba coming up, so let's get together and have fun for Moomba.
Tennis is finished, Gary. I played a game yesterday. I'm a bit sore today, but I played 2.5 hours of pickleball.
What is pickleball?
Pickleball is kind of hybrid squash tennis, smaller tennis court. Strange rules, but an awesome game.
And it built up a bit of a sweat?
Yeah, I did actually. I seem to be the only one.
Did you win or lose?
I think at the end, no, because we played about 8 games, and I reckon it was about 5-3 3, 4,
to
4.
the other guy, yeah.
No. It was fairly evenly
No,
matched.
I reckon
It's doubles anyway.
When you hesitate to answer, did you win or lose? You know it's a loss. and then
Okay,
it's
we
just all
won
coverage.
5-3. Such a big deal. 5 games to 3. I didn't want to boast on the,
Is that
on the
right?
show
Because
to
the
the
person
4 people that are watching.
And the person
he
you
may
played
be
with,
watching.
yeah,
He
might
may
be
be
watching, and
watching.
he's got very upset now because you've exposed him as a loser, and he's not.
Well,
gonna
I
like
haven't
that.
mentioned any names. He knew he was a loser because he
that
lost.
right? Fair enough.
It's just I haven't exposed his name.
There is some real estate to talk about. Let's talk about some of the
There is.
offerings we've got.
Well, let's talk about some sales because it
All right.
normally is lean in January, Gary, because we tend
Yep.
to kind of work on our tans in January, although it doesn't look like either of us worked on our tans in
not
January,
enough.
sadly.
Not
but that's
nearly
okay.
enough. Yep.
A couple of sales, one on Inkerman Street, the
Yes.
old PCYC next to the PCYC
Yeah,
building,
yes.
which took us a while to get sold. We had one auction which we postponed, then we had a second one which we ended up selling it before.
Yep.
Now the price, Gary,
Yep.
1 million, is it undisclosed? I think it probably is undisclosed.
Yeah, it is undisclosed.
But let's say that it was north of 1.5 million.
In that vicinity.
we say that?
Yep, in that
It's too
vicinity.
late, I already said it.
That's an iconic building, isn't it? It's been there for a long time with the same
Iconic's an interesting
And,
turn of phrase. It's
well,
been there a while.
Been there a while, so thank you to the vendor to give
Yes,
us instructions on the
thank
sale of that. Jim, we've sold something else in Eildon Road very recently.
Eildon
It's
Road,
quite
we
a
have sold in
affordable
Eildon Road,
property.
Gary. That was a nice little one bedroom there.
Yep.
We had a couple of one bedrooms. We had one bedroom in Alexandra Street, which
Yep,
sold 297 and a half, and one in Cardigan Street. Interesting, Gary. Some properties that went to auction in late December didn't get sold. Cleaned up and sold early January.
Yep.
So, when people are on holidays, there are still transactions happening.
There are. People are still doing stuff. And Cardigan Street was that apartment was sold for 310. So a few bits and pieces, a few apartments, nothing of a major nature that's been sold. But there are some major listings coming up.
Big, Gary.
Which we're excited about. Some big ones, some good ones, and
blocks
a
of
good variety.
flats.
Got some blocks of apartments. Got a great block in Dickens Street that has not yet sold.
Well, not yet. It's close, though.
Yeah, getting closer every day. But that is a beautiful block of
Four older style, near the
and,
water.
Yeah, not far. Art Deco.
Yep.
Terrific, sizable apartments. There's good parking there as well. So make sure you get down and have a look at that particular block in Dickens Street. The number of Dickens Street we will put up on the screen.
Yes,
But,
we will, Gary. I'll tell
let's
you
have a
what,
look-
though,
yeah.
one thing that's actually, whilst we're talking about blocks of 4,
Yep.
49A Tennyson Street is a superb block of apartments coming to
yes.
the market. Older style, Matthew Morley bringing that to the market. That's going to be sort of around that $2 million mark, 4 two-bedders, decent sized block of land. I'd be surprised if this sells under 2. And I think it's probably worth in excess of 2. So that's one to stay on top of.
Well, that, I think it's been quite popular already.
Yes,
Inquiry on
had it
that.
open for inspection, and I see all the inquiry, and it's big, Gary.
Yep,
Big
yep,
inquiry.
Not surprised. Well, there are still buyers that want that sort of.
There are indeed.
Because it's good, juicy real estate.
I'm looking forward to this auction, Gary. 316 Inkerman Street in St Kilda East. A beautiful double-fronted Victorian block-fronted timber. Absolutely beautiful. All the ornate features you'd expect of a home of this era. Victorian home, 3-bed, 3-bath, 2 off-street car parks in a part of Melbourne that is a superb place to live. The price range on that, Gary, is 1.6 to 1.7, and already we're seeing some strong interest in that auction. When is the auction, Gary? I
It's
think
this
the
weekend,
auction is this weekend, but that's the 24th of Feb,
It is.
if I'm not mistaken.
You're not mistaken. It is. I think it's this Saturday afternoon. if I'm
Yes,
not
it is,
mistaken.
Gary. Who's got? I think that's Phil that's got auction.
Phil's got
on
auction
us
on.
there.
It's 2:30 on Saturday, so
He's got
that's
a
going to
busy
be
weekend this
He
weekend.
has got a busy weekend. We're going to work him hard,
As
but
we
he's fit.
should.
Yeah,
he is
that's
fit.
yeah.
He is fit. Whilst we're on Inkerman, I think we should just take a little bit of a sojourn. Is that the right word? A little bit of a
Sojourn,
walk
yes,
down the road to home number 9 at 300 to 302 Inkerman Street. 3-level town residence, absolutely superb. This one's a great one. 8:30 to 9:10. 3-bed, 3-bath, 1 car, small block. Ripper going to auction this week. Actually, going to auction 2 weeks' time, 2nd of March, Gary.
Try this tri-level. You will enjoy it. Gary, over to you.
Markets, puns. The next thing that is next on your list to check off there, Gary, would probably be some reference to music at some point, which
Well,
I'm sure we'll get to, but not yet,
get
Gary. Not yet.
Okay, the comedy festival's about to start. I'm just getting into practice for it. That's
It
another
is. Well,
wonderful Melbourne thing that's
I
happening.
imagine you'd be going to that as opposed to presenting because your level of humour is
Probably tend to be
questionable.
not a presenter there.
questionable. 1A Pullman Court, Gary, St Kilda East. Pullman
this is a
Court, for
beautiful
those that
place,
don't
yeah.
know, Gary, a nice little court tucked away up off Orong Road near Gleneye Road.
A little enclave.
A little enclave, Gary, stylishly spacious, superbly located. Love those herringbone floors in the lounge area there. 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2 off-street car parks. 3rd of March, Gary. This is great downsizer material. Going to auction, I think Phil's got auction honours there. That is a ripper home. Limor taking that to the market.
Beautifully finished home, that one. I know it.
Now, whilst we're talking about St Kilda, Gary, Marine Parade. Did you ever live on Marine Parade?
I lived on the Esplanade in Brighton for a little while, hobnobbed it there in Brighton with all the
you,
Brighton
Gary.
people. Loved it, actually.
Before they cottoned on to you and asked you to leave
it was
nicely.
Yeah, they got on to me and they found out who I was and said, we don't want the likes of you hammering around the good streets of
That's happened to you at
Brighton.
school, happened to you at uni.
Yep.
And now with your...
I never really went to uni. I just went to...
Well, that's the point. That's because they said, I think it's probably time
Never
you
got that
part
far.
ways.
Yeah, no, that's right.
But this is contemporary living, Gary. Superb St Kilda location. This is a 2-level home, 3-bed, 1.5 bath, 1 off-street car park. Daniel Peer and Arlene and Romy taking that to the market. Going to auction the 7th of March. Bit of a twilight auction, Gary, 6 p.m. How good is a twilight auction, especially on a Thursday? It's not on a Wednesday either.
And to be right on Marine Parade there, right opposite the water, that's a beautiful lifestyle. Awaits the lucky buyer.
Yes, it does, Gary. I did a little bit of I didn't know where I was going there. 8 Myrtle Street, St Kilda East.
Yep.
This is a stunningly renovated single-fronted home. Great accommodation.
Yeah.
It is a good street. This has got this concrete floor back area, beautiful backyard, and this really cute, cool mural of two Tahitian women, with some palm trees.
We love a Tahitian mural, don't we?
With the coconut bikini, Gary.
We need those.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know
a
where
mural,
we'll
not
do
a
that.
picture.
Okay.
So we'll leave that alone.
I got the picture of
That's
the
going
mural.
to be...
Yeah, okay.
There's another one.
Yeah.
1516, that one's a great one. Going to auction on the 16th of March. Looking forward to doing that. Limor is bringing that to market.
Some people may not know Myrtle Street, but if you kept going down Gordon Street, Alstonwick, where the...
You'd almost hit it,
where
Gary,
I
if you
grew,
didn't stop at
where I grew up,
Glenara
and where the cinema is
Asked you to leave there too,
Classic
didn't
cinema.
they?
Sorry?
They asked you to leave there too, Gordon Street
Well,
residents?
no, they didn't, because I was little enough for them not to throw me out there. But if you went down Gordon Street and you actually didn't stop Glenara Road and just went straight through...
If you're lucky enough not to hit...
something, bang, you'd be in Myrtle Street, just for those that want to know where it is.
Thanks for your
Back to
little map it there, Gary. 7 at 21 Lansdowne Road. This is a cool development, Gary.
I like this development a lot.
Within the last 5 to 10 years it was built. Again, 2 levels, great accommodation, great courtyard garden facing north, 2 bedrooms upstairs, central bathroom, downstairs, open plan living. This is a great home. Bringing this to market starting this weekend. 8 to 880 is the range. I'm hoping to get a bit of interest. It's launched online and already the email has been running hot for that.
Nice wrap of that home.
Yes, thank you, Gary. 8 at 12, Avoca Avenue in Elwood, 625 to 680. Limor bringing this to the market. Loving being back in Elwood.
Yep.
2 bed, 1 bath, 2 car, beautiful apartment. Love Avoca Street, Gary.
Great
in
spot.
such a
Just near the
salubrious
Blessington
location.
Gardens or the St Kilda Gardens.
And
just
you
around
love
the
a
corner.
walk around those
I
gardens,
do
don't
like.
you,
I
Gary?
like to hang around that garden. I don't know if that makes me creepy or just a nature lover.
Well, this love of kind of walk. You love walking
love
at
walking.
odd hours.
Yeah, I do.
You love going to parks and you love markets.
Yeah.
Some would say that is it's probably where most
No, stay away
most
from it.
of the world's
most
dodgiest people from people that talk to kids and
there's
offer them
question-
lollies.
There's no question that there are people who follow those sort of routes and are a little bit off, but I'm not one of those people. I just like nature, like parks, like market. I used to work at the market. My life in sales started there, so I've got a bit of a soft spot for those.
You are an odd
vendors.
character, Gary, but that's probably what makes you tick is the oddness of you. And
I'd like to say that I'm a person that can enjoy variety in my life. Mr. Roses, let's leave it at that.
We will.
Next.
5 at 7 Tennyson Street, Gary.
Yep.
We're going to stay in Elwood, and you'll love this because you can walk from one side of the park. You can meander through whilst you're walking at midnight, looking at strange creatures. 690 to 750. Daniel Fisher has bringing
honours.
that to the market, and you have auction honours, Gary.
good. Love it.
So if we could drag you away from your little park wanderings,
I'll be there.
Shirley
there.
Grove, Gary.
Oh,
I
it's a
love
great
Shirley Grove, and I love this house because I sold it a number of years ago with Daniel Mickmacher, and he has brought this back to the market. And thank you to the vendors. This is a lovely, updated 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 1 car via the laneway out the back. We think we'll get interest 1314. Might push beyond that, but looking forward to launching that onto the market. So, Gary, I got to say, there is some seriously good offerings coming to the market.
Yep.
And I'm excited about it.
I'm excited too. St Kilda East, Elwood, right through that whole area. We are very, very active. We've got a lot of beautiful stuff coming
Yes,
through.
we do.
We're going to be busy. And it's interesting. You've talked about probably sort of on main roads, but also in some beautiful little side streets,
Enclaves,
some
Gary.
enclaves, some cul-de-sacs as we call
Near
them.
parks.
Cul-de-sac wasn't a term when I was a young lad. It was dead end street.
No, it was a term. It just your language limitations probably prohibited you from coming up with
I never saw it advertised. Never heard about a
Well, you couldn't
cul-de-sac.
read. You know.
That's true. That's true. You've got to say that. But dead end street was what I knew.
that'd be right.
But that's just not the term you use these days, is it?
Taylor Swift, Gary, you didn't
Yeah,
go.
no,
Not going.
I'm not a Swiftie, but I love the passion around her. think
I
it's
actually
great.
can't understand the passion around.
No,
it,
I
I've
can't
gotta say.
understand it, but I
And
love.
why do they dress up to go to concerts?
I have no idea.
Do you dress up to go to
I
concerts?
just dress up to walk around my house. I
go
just dress up there. I don't need to go anywhere else.
Like I said, folks,
there you
hold your character.
There you go. But I like the passion. I like people that have passions of things that are savoury.
But do you think they're
she
real
is savoury.
passion? I
Yeah,
feel
no,
it's
think
a
they
bit
are.
created and it's a bit.
No, I think it's a real genuine passion. People love. I mean, look at one of our wonderful executive assistants in our office. It sits right outside my door. Has been desperate to get tickets, couldn't get them. Got some in Sydney, flying with her daughter to Sydney to go and see Taylor Swift. And that is the sort of passion that follows her. She brought a lot of money to the economy. So
You know what? I don't buy
all
that
good.
either.
Oh,
I
why do
don't
you
buy
not
any of
buy-
that.
why-
I don't
why-
buy.
how could you not buy it?
What's she brought to the economy?
hey, people have
Was she
hotel
buying
rooms,
chips for-
restaurants. People have coming from all over. No, you've got
1.2 billion, they said.
Yeah, well,
I'd like
that's
to
not
see
bad.
the maths behind
Yeah,
that.
I'm not quite sure
Maybe
about
we'll
that
get KPMG to do a little bit of a forensic insight there, because it's not unlike the state government to not exactly tell the whole story.
And
But we
it's-
won't get political.
And it's not unlike you to be cynical about the story.
Well,
either.
you say
and
cynical,
you're
just a
probably
realist.
right. So by being cynical, look, that is a big wrap on the Kilda and Bayside report. It's good to be back in 2024. We'll look forward to bringing you all the real estate news of what's happening.
Have you gotten taller over summer? Am I shrinking?
I think you're shrinking a little bit. Yeah,
I did have a haircut.
I didn't want to say people are talking about, it, but I didn't want to feel odd. But now you brought it up, I can't deny it. That's a big wrap on this week's edition. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Kilda and Bayside report. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Jeremy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.